What's up, everybody? Tendo here. Today was a big day. I was able to complete a collection. A small collection, but a complete one nonetheless. So stick around to the end of the video to hear more about that. But in the meantime, come to the thrift store with me. I'll show you what I bought, and then you'll see a little extra something that I found at the game store to take to trade in for the thing that completed my collection. And then we'll come back to the game room after that, and I'll show you everything that I came home with. So check this out. I started out today without any real plans or goals, so I just ended up wandering to the Goodwill Clearance Center, which, if you're not familiar, is a Goodwill where all the other Goodwills send their leftover stuff to, and they toss it all in these giant bins, and you can dig through it and pay for it by weight. And so here's my first find of the day, and the editor in me wanted to put this at the end of the video to kind of, be the surprise near the end, but I'm not going to lie to you. I'm going to keep it 100. I walked right inside this place and found this beautiful Xbox. It's in great condition. The serial number on it is completely readable, which is key when you want to trade these things in. So right off the bat, I decided today that I'm going to go take some stuff in for trade-in because you can get about 30 or 40 bucks out of these original Xboxes, and I'm very happy about that. But looking around the rest of the store, it looks like someone just tossed their entire VHS collection out. And I wanted to dig through these and maybe find a couple good ones because there was some good stuff on top, but there was some mystery substance on all of these. So I stopped touching them pretty much immediately. And then here's a microphone stand. These things are pretty handy, so I buy them whenever I see them. And then looking around some more, I ended up finding this Ninja Turtle backpack. I have a bit of a problem with bags. I mean, if you've watched my channel at all, there's a lot of random stuff I buy that doesn't make a lot of sense, but how can you leave without this Ninja Turtle backpack when it weighs nothing? I mean, it's literally going to cost me a dime. So I'm buying the Ninja Turtle backpack. Leave me alone. Kept digging around and ended up finding this handheld Pac-Man. And if you've watched my channel recently, some of my thrifting videos, I've brought home one of these not too long ago, but it didn't work. I put new batteries in it and everything, and it didn't work. But this one does work, and I have seen this for sale at the game store that I'm going to trade stuff in at. So maybe they'll give me a few bucks for it, because I'm not going to pay anything for it. Again, this is by weight, so this is just pennies. And as you can see here, it works great. Continuing on, this is what's called a new rotation at the store. They've just opened this side of the store up, so that means that these bins full of books are completely new. And I usually just make a lap around them to see if any of them have DVDs in them, because if they have DVDs, that usually means you can start digging and find games. But I stopped at this one because look, all of these calendars. There's calendar books in here, sealed regular wall calendars, you name it. There's just calendar stuff in here. Some calendar store dumped their stock or their leftover or something. But what's strange about every single one of them, and I dug through them pretty heavily, they're all 2020 calendars. I did end up leaving with a small pocket one, so it's kind of weird, but that's the kind of weird thing you can expect at these Goodwill bins. Then as you saw there, I found a copy of Wii Skylanders, grabbed it, and kept digging. It looks like this bin is going to be the one that might have the most games in it. You just never know, really, what you're going to come across in these book bins. I've left with all kinds of nonsense out of them. Blu-rays, DVDs, VHS tapes, games, music. Here's a prime example of the kind of game that you find in these bins most often, sports games. I spent quite some time digging in this bin because I just kept finding games. Here's another one I came across. It's a Wii drawing game, nothing special, and most of the games you're going to find here aren't special, but you just dig because every now and then, once in a while, you do find something special. Here's a few comic books I stumbled across. I didn't end up buying them because I've just not really been collecting comic books for the last several years, but a lot of them show up here. This was a little bit later in the day when one of those rotations that I was talking about happened. This is the back half of the store where anything that's not books, electronics, or clothes ends up. And as you can see here right off the bat, I found a couple Hot Wheels tracks, something that I buy quite a few of on this channel. This is a bin that I was able to get to before anyone else did, and I got really excited because what happens at these bins is there's quite a few people there digging through them, and there's a lot of people digging for very specific stuff. And I happen to know that on this day there are tons of the toy people that I'm familiar with here. And I know they're going to come running to this, and they're just going to do one of a few things. A lot of times what they like to do is just start scooping stuff into their baskets, just anything and everything, and then they'll take it somewhere else private and dig through it. So I know I don't have very long before they see me over here digging in this one like I found something and come and try to dig in it as well. So I ended up putting my camera away pretty quickly actually on that one. and just digging through it and getting what I wanted. And then going over here to a more secluded corner of the room and digging through all of it. And that's what you're seeing here. I got that Wolfenstein poster and that Dickie sign, as well as this Nerf clip. I didn't end up buying the Dickie sign and poster. I find that kind of stuff so much, and I want it, but I'm just out of room. So that kind of thing isn't quite as important as some of this other stuff. There's some more Nerf stuff there. And I ended up finding a few computer games in there. This one was Sims. I didn't end up keeping it. I don't really do many PC games, and if I do, they're mostly digital, unfortunately. But I kept digging through that bin and found more Hot Wheel tracks, and then these Yoshis, which I just thought was pretty funny. I ended up getting them, and then I ended up getting this action figure. And then most importantly, there was a huge handful of Pez dispensers in this bin. And I hope that I got all of them. But the reason that I bought these is that I have a rather large Pez collection, which is actually really new. And I'm going to leave a link to a video I made about the collection down below. If you're just now stumbling across my channel and haven't seen that video, please go watch that Pez video, because you'll never see another thrift haul like that one. I brought home all the Pez. Let's just leave it at that. I brought home all of them. So now every time I see a Pez out in the wild, I can't help but buy it. Here was a weirder find of the day. This is a box for your Xbox 360. I don't know if there was some collector's edition of the Gears of War Xbox 360 or what. I didn't really find anything super informative on Google, but it's made by Wildcats, which isn't too surprising. They'll make anything. But yeah, it's for your Xbox 360. I really wanted to buy it, but it was pretty busted up and missing its handles and just really not worth it. If I ever do come across one of these in the wild that's intact, I'll probably buy it. But I don't have the Gears of War Xbox 360 edition. So keep moving here. Here's a little Littlefoot. Wasn't going to buy it, just thought you should see it. This kind of weird thing shows up all the time. So next I bagged everything up, got it ready to take home, and then we went home and got the Xbox as well as some other stuff ready to take for trade-in.
Lol. There's so many. I thought I had big hands. Nemo. Spider-Man. Superman. Belle, I believe. Sandy Claus. What the heck? A car on a wheel on a Pez.
Triple threat.
Dino. Ninja Turtle.
It was getting pretty late in the day, so we bagged up everything that we had and went to the game store. We took the Xbox that we found today, as well as the Pac-Man machine, and then just a small handful of other miscellaneous that you may or may not have seen in a few previous thrifting videos that I've made. And I'm hoping they'll take all of it. I really don't know if they will or not. I also have this Force FX Darth Maul lightsaber that I'm really hoping they'll take, because it's worth quite a bit, and I just don't have any room for it. I was able to put that lightsaber together from the thrift store 2 different times. I found half of it and put it together. I thought that was pretty awesome. But this Goodwill is the one that's right next to the Bookman's that I go to trade in most of my stuff. So anytime we go there, Hannah takes everything in to the counter and gets the trade-in credit numbers crunched. And then I go next door and shop around a little bit. So I went in there, and there's a guitar pedal in there, but it's pretty high priced. And they did have a handful of N64 games. But not only are they sports games, but I already own all 4 of those, so nothing there that I'm interested in. But I am going to go over and look at the games, because I have had quite a bit of luck at this Goodwill. I'm not sure why, I'm not sure what's special about it, but I often find good games here. But on this trip, I walked over there, and it doesn't look like there's much of anything. This is about the only games that are there, 5 or 6 games, including some Wii games and a PlayStation 2 game. And, of course, some Wii Fit. You know we love Wii Fit around here, but none of this is anything we're looking for today. So I cracked this open, and looky here. WarioWare Smooth Moves inside of it. I couldn't believe it. So I did take a look around to look for the case, but it wasn't there. This is probably the way that the game came in there, so I'm just going to go ahead and buy this. And then I made my way onto the back of the store where the toys are. And there wasn't a whole lot back here that was catching my eyes, except for these Hot Wheels. These Hot Wheels were funny because they're 25-year anniversary remakes of vintage Hot Wheels. But these were all made in '92, which means that they're almost vintage again. So it's like vintage Hot Wheels. It's like Hot Wheel Inception. And then this bag had some interesting figures in it that I thought were maybe hero clicks, but I couldn't tell. They just didn't look interesting enough to end up buying, but I was quite curious what all of them were, but not curious enough to buy. So I only left with this, but I want to show you something very interesting about it. Remember how I said this Goodwill is right next to the Bookmans that I go trade in my stuff at? Look, there's a Bookman sticker on the Goodwill game. Did someone buy at Bookman's and walk right next door and trade it in? I don't know. But on to Bookman's now. We're going to go in and see how much trade-in value we got. I always get nervous at this point because sometimes they just shower me with store credit, and sometimes they're like, we don't want any of this. But today I'm really hopeful because look at this copy of Super Smash. $50, great price. I really want it. I'd really like to have all those 64 games there, but I'm especially wanting to leave with the Super Smash. I almost am not even going to look at much of the other store because if I get store credit, that's what I'm leaving with. I'd really like to have this gamer's manual for Super Mario RPG as well, but it's got a really high price tag on it. So I'm not leaving with that today, even if I get a bunch of store credit. But I'm sitting here thinking that maybe they'll want that lightsaber because it is the kind of thing they sell quite often. And they usually give about 50% of what they're going to sell it for, and those lightsabers go for $200. So wouldn't it be nice if I could get $100 store credit on that thing? I don't know. We'll see. Here's something that happens every time I'm at this store. Some kid plays the demo skateboarding game and then just leaves the character to skate into his death, into eternity, over and over again. This guy's just dying. So I go give the guy a break, put him on pause, give him a rest for a little while till the next kid comes. They didn't take quite as much as that stuff as I had hoped. They did take the Xbox, which I knew they would, and then they took the Pac-Man stuff, which I wasn't sure about, and they also took a microphone that I put in the bag, which is something that I trade in every couple of weeks. They take those microphones like they're candy. But I ended up getting just enough credit to get exactly what I wanted. I would have liked to have had more. I would have liked for him to take that lightsaber and give me a big extra bit. But this guy checking me out was really excited for me, getting to go home with this copy of Super Smash. I'm not mad about it. You just got to be cool about the trade-in value stuff. Sometimes it goes your way, sometimes it doesn't. But I usually get to go home with at least some new video games, which means that today is a good day. And then would you look at that? Sometimes I just have to pinch myself to make sure that this is real life. They even wrote my name on them. All right, guys, we are back in my game room. Let's go through everything that I got today. We'll start with this big bag of silliness. Inside of this big bag of silliness, I have not one, not two, but 3 Hot Wheel tracks. If you haven't seen it already, there's a series of videos dedicated to Hot Wheels and tracks on my channel. Please go check that out. I'll leave a link below. It's pretty awesome. And there's more videos in that series coming really soon. Next, Nerf drum clip. Those are pretty awesome. And then I got some toys. Let's see, there's several in here. We got some Yoshis. These are kind of funny. I don't know what they came off of. Maybe if you know, you can comment below. But they've got holes in their hands to hold on to something, like they were on a Mario Kart dirt bike or something. Oh, look, I didn't notice they did that. Oh, that's great. This is even better. And then an X-Men figure. I forget his name off the top of my head. I'm sure someone watching this will know. Comment below. I just can't remember. Blanket on that guy. And then a microphone stand, real simple. I bought this because there's a very specific microphone that I trade in at the game store all the time. I find one every other week or so. I get $20 for trading it in, but they give you $20 only when it has its cable and its stand, and that's one of those stands. So when I find another one of those microphones, I'll be able to trade it in. For my Power Rangers collection, it is Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, The Super Zords. It's just a book, and then it's got, that's awesome, it's got some color photos in the center of it. Kimberly, rad. The Green Ranger, rad. I kid you not, I saw Jason David Frank, the guy that plays the Green Ranger, in a restaurant, in a pizza restaurant, not too long ago. Really random, but it was definitely him. And then next, I got 4 games at the Thrift, and then I got 2 games that I traded in at the game store for with stuff that I bought at the thrift, and we'll talk about those last. Let's just run through the games. Skylanders. If you've watched any of my channel at all, you know we get into a lot of Skylanders over here. And I didn't actually have this one for the Wii, so that's great. And then, oh, this one had a bonus. Disney Think Fast, the Ultimate Trivia Showdown. But you open it up, and it has the game as well as WarioWare Smooth Moves. I found it like that in the thrift, and I did look around for the case, and if it was there, I would have bought it, but I found it this way, and I bought it this way. Would have loved to have had the case for WarioWare, though, so that's awesome. MLB The Show 11. This was at the bin, so it was just by weight. It's all there. It's a game I didn't have, so I paid pennies for it. And then last, and probably least, U-Draw Studio. This has a little Wiimote peripheral that you can draw on that goes with it. I don't have one, and I've never played this, but maybe one of these days we'll get around to it and do some sort of series on Mario Paint and games like this. But that was all the stuff that I got at the thrift. And then as you saw, I traded some stuff in at the game store, and here's what I got. I'm super excited about this. I don't know what else to tell you. I'm just excited because this completes a collection for me. I have every single Super Smash Bros. Title. I've got them all. The last two that I didn't have was the Nintendo 64 version and the 3DS version. And it's all here. It's pretty awesome. Hold on a second. Super Smash. Super Smash. Let's see. Where is Super Smash? Bonus Super Smash. Here they are. That's what a full stack, a complete stack of Super Smash Bros. Games looks like. Let's just go through them in no particular order. We got the Switch version. We got the Wii version. We've got the GameCube version. We've got the Wii U version. We've got the 3DS version. We've got the N64 version. And check this out. Bonus. Look at that. Japanese Wii version. Super, 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 super excited about that. I've had this for a little while. I got it at the same game store you saw me do trade-ins at today. I can't remember what I traded for it. I think it's on one of my videos. So just go watch all of my thrifting videos. You'll find it. I'm very excited about this. I'm so happy to finally have all of these. I don't have many collections that you can call complete, but I can call this one complete finally. I mean, I guess maybe technically it's not complete because I did get gypped out of the manual for this one. It's just got a slip in it. So I got to track down a manual for this, and then I don't think I'm going to go whole hog on it and get all the Japanese versions of these, but I definitely will buy them if I find them in a game store. I'm not going to try to import them or anything, but maybe one of these days I will go after the Japanese versions. But what I'm going to do for now is I'm going to build a display. It's going to end up being off camera. It won't be something you see behind me, but I'm going to build a display right here to put all of these games on, and then maybe rotate out periodically as I complete other collections, and just have this shelf right here behind my camera of sets of games that I own all of, just to kind of be there and make me happy. I think that'd be cool. I think I'll make a video out of that. But guys, thanks for watching this video. I need you to do me a favor though. If you go up to the top of my YouTube page on the right hand corner, there's a link that will take you to our Twitch page. Please go hit that link and go over to our Twitch and hit the follow button. And then you'll get notifications from our Twitch when we go live and play games like this. But also while you're here on YouTube, hit that subscribe button and hit the notification bell so that when we post videos like this in the future, you'll get a notification and you can come hang out with us then. Until then guys, peace out.